And welcome back, my beautiful sinners, to another great video here on The Savior Show. How's it going? Let me know how you're doing in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like button or just give it a little love tap. I don't mind. Any support is appreciated. Check out my links down below in the comments and check out my original music that I produce on YouTube and Spotify. Thank you very much. Now, today guys, I'm going to be talking about the problem with Neuralink. That's right guys, the problem with Neuralink. Now, I have talked briefly about Neuralink before, and if you're not aware, I do talk about dystopian technologies on my channel. There's a whole dystopian series that I make, warning everyone about the dystopian future we are heading towards, because it doesn't seem that many people realize how fast technology is rapidly improving and developing, and how corporations and big tech globalist demons are basically using these technologies to social engineer us and control us. And I'm not sounding like a madman, this is pretty much on record. Google and everything like that, Facebook, not exactly great things. There's been scientific studies coming out showing that social media causes unhappiness, distrust, and an overall worse human experience. And yeah, I'm just going to talk about dystopian technologies. Now, when it comes to Neuralink and it comes to Elon Musk, I feel a little bit kind of confused. I mean, I understand it, don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm confused about. I mean, I'm confused with Elon Musk because I respect him and I do actually think he's doing some great work for humanity, pushing forwards space exploration and space travel, which we definitely need as humans go further if we ever actually do get off this rock, which it's not kind of looking likely with human history so far, but I hope so. That would be great if we actually did go and colonize other planets. But he is also a little bit of a, kind of corporate scumbag himself, in the fact that he wants us to merge with AI, which can be a very dangerous threat. I highly suggest that you go read on the subject of AI and how dangerous it can be, and how already we are seeing AI pretty much everywhere with algorithmic, kind of automatous, kind of robotic infrastructures when it comes to the internet and how we go around our daily lives. I mean, when you go on a page now, there's so many times you have to say that you're not a robot, and I don't know about you guys, but I just love doing that. I love to make sure that I'm definitely not a robot, but I guess in a few years we're not gonna know who's a human and who's a robot. And you might be saying, why is it a problem merging with technology? We do that all the time. Humans have been doing that since the turn of the century with, better clothing, better communication, better, better housing structures. Everything is technology, savior. Yes, I agree. Everything is technology, and everything, to do with technology isn't all bad. I support a lot of technology. I'm just saying the bad technology, like social media, like, technology that actually controls us and divides us and tries to put us into group, group mentality thinking, and, basically splits us off into different categories, so we become, kind of tribal, and we compare to other people, and we have all this negative impact of technologies that basically makes us more distant from our human biological needs, because it's on record that actually being, in nature, doing, actual human biological, functions and actual, development, when it it could be striving for, a higher goal, it could be trying to climb that mountain, it could be hunting, it could be anything. Being out in nature and actually going back to your biological roots actually causes much more balance, much better balance with your brain and your brain chemistry, and makes you a happier person. That's why people, who never get to go out to nature and always live in cities, in these confined spaces, always living on their phones and stuff like that, they're not usually that happy. That's why it's important to remember our biological roots. That's why if you're outside at night, it's a little bit more scary. Even if there's no added threat, it's just because it goes back to our biological roots, where we used to be dirty cavemen, and the nature was scarier when it was nighttime, because funny enough, we could be attacked by dangerous predators. So we must remember that we are still dirty apes, although we are conscious that we are dirty apes and we know that we are still stupid dirty monkeys, it's important to remember what we are and where we came from, because if we become too distant from it, it's only going to cause this confusion of, I don't believe in the human spirit or anything like that. I believe we are just conscious, with the neurons, and then these neurons form, connections, which is synapses, and that's how our brain works. It's all just these electronic chemicals, almost like the internet in a way. Your brain is just firing these electronic kind of signals to each other's, to each neurons, and that's how we form different connections. That's how we have these different feelings like dopamine, which is our feeling of happiness and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying that, technology is all bad and humans aren't already using technology and all that kind of stuff. I got a little bit distracted, I'm sorry, but I'm just saying that we need to be aware of negative technologies. And when it comes to Neuralink, okay guys, sorry for rambling on, but I'm just giving you a little bit of my backstory of why I don't like certain technologies, dystopian technologies as I like to call them, that can cause a divide in the humanity and will basically destroy our progress. The reason I'm, alert and I'm worried about these technologies, these dystopian technologies, is for those reasons, okay? And when it comes to Neuralink and Elon Musk, like I said, he's good with some things, but at this other side of the spectrum, he's not so good when it comes to, wanting to merge with machine and become symbiotic, okay? Now, when it comes to Neuralink, okay, the problem is, guys, it all sounds good on paper, right? If you're blind, it will cure your eyesight. If you have hearing problems, it will help you with your hearing. If you've lost functions of your limbs, maybe it will help, reform these connections in your brain that will make you able to lift your limbs again and walk about and all that kind of stuff. Or maybe, guys, you can control video game characters just by your mind. That all sounds pretty cool and pretty futuristic. You can have, telepathic conversations without ever having to say another word. Okay, that all sounds great on paper, but the problem is we are still just dirty monkeys, okay? Our evolution has kind of halted in the fact that we aren't, we're always constantly changing and we're always evolving, obviously, but I'm saying, because there hasn't been a huge adaptation with our environment means that our biological, steps of evolution haven't drastically changed. So we are evolving through technology, okay? And that's all well and fine, and it can be used for good purposes, but it can be used for bad purposes, like I said, with big tech companies and all that kind of stuff basically wanting to control us and social engineer us, push the right agenda, push, basically their power over the people, which we've seen with, throughout human history so many times, government, or, kings and queens, it's always been like that. It's always been a dominant hierarchy and power structure. So that's why these technologies can be used for bad, because now that we see big tech and corporations are becoming more and more powerful, they can basically control the narrative, okay? And that's what I'm saying is with Neuralink, it all sounds good, but what happens when we get target advertisements, okay? What happens if someone can actually hack in to our own Neuralink and cause problems? What happens if this technology causes damages to the brain? What happens if, this huge disconnect of not actually learning a skill and going through the process, of a human biological being, and we just, can download a program, where does the fulfillment come from? Where does, the actual, purpose of being a human? That's all going to go, and it's all just going to become so easy. We see that throughout, current times right now. Everything is becoming easier, having Alexa and all that kind of stuff. But it takes out effort and having this human strive is what makes life worth living, and what, that's what gives us our good, brain chemistry, our happy emotions, okay? So if we take away all this human development and all this stuff becomes easily accessible, then what's going to actually happen to, our core humanity is what I'm saying. And also with big tech companies, controlling us, they can target advertise us, like I said, they can push, a certain type of agenda. You could have hackers, okay, guys? There's so many problems that could happen with Neuralink. You could use it for malicious ways. You could, have all kinds of, disgusting problems when it comes to Neuralink. And that's what I'm concerned about, guys. And I think people, before we all get excited about the future and basically having a cyberpunk 2077 world where we all just, upgrade ourselves with Neuralink and stuff like that, and, learn different programs through this technology, we need to actually think about the negative, impact of this technology, okay, guys? So, I'm just worried about who's going to use this to basically control us and how it's going to divide us, because, we might see a certain person in a different perspective. All these problems could happen when it comes to Neuralink, so I just think we need to be aware of them and aware of the dangers. And yeah, that's what I just wanted to talk about today, was just the evolution of Neuralink, how it's coming along. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about Neuralink. Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's good? I think it could be used for good, but I think the potential risks outweigh the positive when it comes to having, technologies in our brain. I mean, they are talking about having Neuralink and then merging with your phone, okay? And does that sound like a good idea? Having notifications in your head, never being able to switch off from social media, having, Alexa streaming music to your brain? I don't think so. I just think it's gonna form a huge disconnect between humanity and, SNS kind of world. And, it's good to be connected, but there's definitely a thing where being too connected with everyone in the world, having all this information constantly at the tips of your fingertip, but now actually inside your brain, that could cause a lot of damage. And who's to say if all this information is correct? There are so many things to question, so many things that could be used wrong with this program. You could download malicious software that could make you make you an expert bomb maker, for example. I mean, there's so many things, so I just think we need to question it, and that's all. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and have yourselves a blessed day, my sinners. Stay safe, stay alert, and remember your human spirit, okay? And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.